The pros to the amateurs, from high schools to colleges. Call the Power Hour now on the Cure Brand Hotline. 615-844-5600. 615-844-5600. Now here's your host for the Power Hour, Sammy Kincaid.
Welcome into Power Hour with Sammy Kincaid. I'm Sammy Kincaid in the Strike and Spare studio. If you want to call in, talk to us on the Cure hotline, 615-844-5600. Again, that's 615-844-5600. And Devlin, producer Devlin McKenzie, is probably the most excited of anyone this morning because we have his favorite guest on with us this morning. We have Danny Kleppinger from Live on the Line, Bally Sports, Tennis Channel. She does it all. Danny, how you doing this morning?
Good morning, Sammy. I'm doing well. I'm excited to be back on.
Absolutely. I know Devlin he's not too thrilled about his picks, so I think he needs to get some advice from you once again. But I would say, I was texting Danny earlier in the week, and I said, you know what? I don't know when Devlin's going to start listening to me about these picks because I don't know if it's beginner's luck, but I feel like I've been doing pretty good. And Danny, you said that y'all are having pretty similar luck this season.
Yes, it goes back and forth. I had a tough couple first weeks in the NFL, but because that's primarily what we focus on.
Yeah.
But it's picked up. I've had a good past couple of weeks, so I feel like we're gaining some momentum here. That's the thing about sports gambling. You can never expect to be perfect. There's going to be ups and downs and ebbs and flows, but that's why you get back on it, right? Does that sound like a degenerate? Probably.
Hey, you know what? I think Devlin feels he feels comfortable in the presence of somebody very similar to him right now.
Yeah, I'm looking absolutely abysmal right now. My whole entire board is terrible.
So, Danny.
Oh, no. Are you doing primarily college?
Yeah, mostly college. I do a lot of hockey as well, but the ones that I care about the most are all college football, and they're just not looking too good.
Right. Well, here's some good juju going into this Saturday.
Yeah, I could use it.
So, Danny, for the entire weekend, what are some big picks that you would put out there for people?
Well, one that I liked a lot was Syracuse and Clemson. I just think Syracuse's Cinderella story is going to come to an end here against Clemson. I don't think they've played anybody quite as talented as Clemson, certainly not a top 50 defense, top 25 offense. I don't think they've played anybody like Clemson yet, and I just think that they've surprised people over and over and over again. And look, I am a huge fan of any Cinderella stories or people overperforming, but I just don't think that's going to be the case here at Syracuse. And I know the spread for Clemson is really big. I actually got it at 13.5. It's now, from what I'm looking at currently right in front of me, it's at 14. I still like it. I think Clemson gives them a rude awakening today. So that's one of the ones that I first and foremost paid attention to in college football. I also think that I know it's a pick'em game, LSU and Ole Miss. I actually think LSU can do it at home. I know we loved, Sammy, you included, loved watching Tennessee Volunteers just smoke
Absolutely.
LSU in Baton Rouge. That was like so much fun to watch. But I think LSU is better than that they've really showed in that game. I think they looked great against Florida. You saw Ole Miss struggle against Auburn. But I think I really do feel like you could take a money line win for LSU. I think they cover at home.
I liked your first one. I got Clemson taking it by more than 14. I think you're right. The Cinderella story does come to an end for Syracuse today. But I really think Ole Miss is going to pull this one out. And I think because of watching that Tennessee game against LSU, with Ole Miss's offense, I think it's going to be a very similar game because you have both of their offenses that are, well, yes, Tennessee does get a lot of it done through the air where Ole Miss is really heavy on the ground game. I just think it's going to be very, very similar, and I think Ole Miss takes this one easy, and especially the fans
easy.
I think it's going to be a very repeat of the Tennessee game, and LSU fans, they're mad because it's an early game. It's not a night game in Baton Rouge. I really think Ole Miss is going to take this one.
Yeah, time of day definitely would help. I think obviously the nighttime game would really obviously give them a little bit more of an advantage. But I also was kind of looking at that Kansas-Baylor game as well, and that spread has gotten really, really big. It was Baylor at like 7 Now it's Baylor by 10. I don't know. I think I would say Kansas could keep it closer than 10, but I do think Baylor walks away with a win. So I think when I picked it on the show, I did the Clemson spread at like 13 and a half, and paired it with a Baylor money line to be able to get into some plus odds. I think it ended up being like plus 145, because if you just take Baylor outright on the money line, you're not getting any value whatsoever. So I just paired it together to make it a little bit more enticing for me.
Devlin's nodding his head. It looks like he's making some picks over there on his phone.
Yeah, pen's going to paper right now. Yeah, no doubt.
I love it. I know. I was just taking a look, actually. It's funny, when you guys called, I was just making my picks for this weekend's slate in the NFL as well, and there's some good games, and there's also some really awful games. So that, are you guys Titans fans?
No. And I know, being a Nashville native, I get hate for this all the time, but I grew up a Dolphins fan because before the Titans got here, which, yes, I was very young whenever the Titans got here, but still, I grew up watching Dolphins games because that's the games you got in Nashville. Before that, because the Falcons, they weren't relevant. And sorry, Devlin, being from Ohio, no Ohio team, that would be the next closest. They weren't relevant. And so you would get the Dolphins games because that's the team that, if you would say, like, our parents grew up watching with Marino, and they were killing it in the 80s, 90s. So I grew up a Dolphins fan, and people always say, how are you not going to support the hometown team? But, yeah, I can't do it.
Well, if anybody's listening, this is in Nashville, right? I think that you can get Derrick Henry to go over his rush yards. So I would definitely book that, because he ran all over the Colts, 114 yards, and scored when they played each other a couple weeks ago. So I think you could probably book that. Right now it's at 89.5. I think it'll get up higher closer to kickoff. So if you're looking at it now on a Saturday morning, might be something to take, because he's had back-to-back games with 100 yards on the ground. So Indy's not good against the run. So those local people over there in Nashville, jump on it now.
I like that. I mean, I'm not really the biggest fan of him, being an Alabama guy, but no, I like that pick. Devlin, what you thinking?
I also hold grudges about where people It's fine.
Devlin, what you thinking over there? He looks like he's pondering real hard.
Yeah, Danny, on the topic of NFL, the line for the Chiefs and Niners game, I saw it at one point. It was 3.5, I think, for Chiefs, maybe 2.5, but now I'm seeing it at 1. What do you think about this game with Christian McCaffrey obviously going to San Francisco? Do you think it really makes a big difference in this game coming up?
I do. I think it makes a huge difference. And I'm on the bandwagon that everybody says. I know a ton of people went and booked futures for the 49ers when that news came out. But I think he's a running back that they'll use immediately. I know everybody's like, will he need to be indoctrinated into the system? No, he's good enough. The way they play, he can be plugged right on in and be a nice little safety valve there for Jimmy G. I do think he makes a difference in this game. However, I just think the Chiefs are too good. And you said right now it's at 1?
Yeah, I'm seeing it right now. It's at 1. It's constantly moving, yeah.
Yeah, I still think the Chiefs take this one. I don't know if it was a little bit bigger at 3. I think maybe it would be a 1-point game or so, but I don't know. I still think that the Chiefs are the superior team by far. They're one of the only teams this year that I feel like can actually put points on the board.
Yeah, I completely agree. I just thought it was surprising that the line just kept moving, even with Christian McCaffrey, because I assume he's going to be on limited snaps, with, he doesn't know the playbook. But it is Kyle Shanahan, and he's very, very good at making decent running backs look fantastic. And Christian McCaffrey's already a star, so yeah, he's going to get that offense moving pretty quick.
Yeah, the other 2 running backs that I'm looking at, it's actually both in the same game. So I actually just was putting together a little parlay in the very thrilling Texans-Raiders game. But Josh Jacobs and Dameon Pierce are both playing really, really, really well. And obviously the Raiders are coming off a bye week, and so are the Texans, I think, as well. Yeah, both of them. But if you actually tailor down Josh Jacobs' rushing yards a little bit and pair it with, or actually if you take Josh Jacobs and his receiving yards, like just do 15-plus receiving yards, which he's averaging 33 receiving yards per game. So this is well under that. If you tailor it down a little bit to 15, and then you take Dameon Pierce to get over 55 rushing yards, which he should get no problem, especially with Lovie Smith saying that he needs to get at least 20 carries a game. You put that together, I think you get it in plus money. So that would be my running backs play for the weekend, probably. Alongside Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I like that. And you just mentioned, I'm going to switch it back to college real quick. And I think Devlin is going to have a little bit of, I don't know if he'll bet on this one, but you just mentioned a bye week, a team coming off of a bye week, Ohio State. Do you think that they can cover 29.5 points against Iowa? It is at Ohio State.
The thing about Iowa is they're just the nastiest team to have to watch. Like, this is so boring. You don't want to watch Iowa, but they figure out how to make, like, teams not score. So I don't know if they can cover. It's a really big line. I would probably stay away from it because anything with Iowa I stay away from because Iowa is just, it's disgusting football. And they're usually these low-scoring battles, but I think I would probably roll with Iowa to keep it closer than 29.5. That seems too big to me.
That's what I was thinking, and I know Devlin's going to hate that because he's very passionate about this one, I have a feeling. But I
think Ohio State will win.
Oh, I think Ohio State will win as well. Yeah.
Big of a blowout.
I just don't think I don't think they win by 29.5. And yes, it's at home, but they're coming off of a bye week. They have Penn State next week. They have a couple of really big games that I think that this one is just, like you said, Iowa's not fun to watch.
Like a look-ahead game.
Yeah, I really think it is.
Yeah.
And that with them overlooking it, Iowa can keep this one a lot closer than 29.5.
Yeah, I think I would lean towards that as well. I like I said, I don't feel all that comfortable taking an Iowa game. It has nothing to do with Ohio State and everything to do with Iowa. But if I were going to lean one way or another, I'd lean on the Iowa defense to try to keep it closer.
He put his coffee down and got real close to the mic. What you got to say, Devlin?
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, but I do think that this is the best defense that Iowa's played this far in the season. I don't really see them putting up any points, so it's really just a matter of what Ohio State's offense can do, and they've got a lot of people coming back off injury. Jackson Smith and Jigba coming back, and I think Ohio State's very much capable of doing it. I don't think anybody would disagree with that. But yeah, like you said, this is one of those that I would stay away from because you really don't know what to expect. It could be just a low-scoring Big Ten game, or it could be lights-out football for Ohio State. So either way, I'm one of the guys that I don't bet on the teams that I favor. So I'm a huge Ohio State fan. I'm a huge Browns fan. I'd stay away from those games no matter what.
Oh gosh, teach me your ways.
So I like to cheer for the right reasons. I don't bet on those teams, but yeah, either way, if I was, this is one of those that I would try to just steer away from.
Yeah, I think only one team has held Ohio State below 45 points, and it was like Notre Dame, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
So Ohio State's going to light up the scoreboard. There's something about the way Iowa plays, and you're right, I don't think that they're going to score points. I think they've scored like 30 points once in the last, I think I saw a stat, it's like the last 15 games or something for Iowa. Like they're not like going all fireworks on that scoreboard whatsoever. But I think they maybe could slow down the Buckeyes offense a little bit. But man, college football, so fun, so unpredictable.
So the big picks in college football for you: Syracuse at Clemson, Ole Miss at LSU. You got LSU, and then you got the running backs in the NFL. I like what you had this week, Danny.
Baylor over Kansas.
Oh yes, Baylor over Kansas.
That money line somewhere. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Danny, for joining us this morning in the Strike and Spare studio. Again, you're listening to Power Hour with Sammy Kincaid, and we will be right back after this break with Remy Schimmel. She's in studio with us. She'll be on here for This Girl Can. Stick with us.
Now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Join today and get started with $150 in free bets guaranteed. When you place your first $5 bet, that's a free bet back. Your first bet doesn't win. Just sign up with the promo code WNSR. FanDuel has all your favorite bets, from the money line to point spreads to player props. You can combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with the same game parlay. With live betting, you'll get updated odds on games that have already started. It's super easy to use. Don't fumble your chance to get $150 in free bets. Win or lose with the promo code WNSR. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. You must be 21 years of age or older and present here in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued, non-withdrawable. Free bets that expire in 14 days after receipt. Restrictions do apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line, 1-800-889-9789.
Hey Nashville, Ray here. Many of us suffer with anxiety when going to the dentist. You guys need to go check out my amazing friends over at Bite Dentistry. Bite Dentistry is where my family goes for all our dental care. Their mission is to help patients breathe better, smile bigger, and live longer by offering a comprehensive selection of services and total dental care for every member of your family. Bite Dentistry is the only dentist in town trained and certified to offer the Vivos method that helps with people who grind their teeth at night or snore that causes sleep apnea. What's great about the Vivos methods is that it's provided for both kids and adults. They also work with a company called Guard Lab, which creates custom mouth guards, which are the same mouth guards used by professional football players. Located at 3212 West End Avenue, Suite 301, Nashville, you can set an appointment by calling them at 615-866-2129. That's 615-866-2129, and follow them on social media and online at bitedds.com. Again, that's bitedds.com.
From the big game to the big dance, Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel downtown is your game day and watch party headquarters. Don't worry about entertaining guests and trying to feed everyone. Sit back, relax, cheer on your team, and let the Bar Line staff take care of you. Grab a Bar Line signature cocktail and enjoy some wicked deviled eggs, or a Bar Line's double stack, and finish it off with some Jack and Coke chocolate cake. Bust your belly and your bracket at Bar Lines, located in the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown. If you need a staycation or planning a trip to Music City, stay at Bento Living Chestnut Hill. Voted the best boutique hotel in the city by the Nashville Scene, Bento Living is located on the edge of bustling downtown and boasts on-site dining, shopping, live entertainment on the rooftop, and free fitness classes. Come experience Nashville like a local. Visit BentoChestnutHill.com to book your Music City vacation today.
Get all your NASCAR news every weekday right here on The Final Lap. Hey, it's Kerry Murphy, and Joey Logano punches his ticket to the championship for a race at Phoenix after winning at Las Vegas this past weekend. Up next is Homestead Miami Speedway. So grab all the latest NASCAR news, race recaps, driver interviews, stats, and info every single weekday. Same place Joey does.
Hi, I'm Joey Logano, and I get my NASCAR news on The Final Lap with Kerry Murphy.
Every single weekday.
Now, This Girl Can, featuring your local female athlete of the week.
Welcome back into Power Hour with Sammy Kincaid in the Strike and Spare studio. If you want to call in, talk to us on the Cure Hotline, 615-844-5600, 615-844-5600. Just talked to Danny Kleppinger. Get some great picks for this weekend in college and in the NFL. But now, very excited to be joined by Remy Schimmel, who goes to my alma mater for this week's This Girl Can. Remy, how you doing?
Good, thank you for having me on today.
So you go to Pope John Paul,
Yes.
Pope Prep, but why don't you tell everyone just a little bit more about yourself?
Okay, so yes, I am Remy Schimmel. I go to Pope Prep, and I am a senior this year, and I have been doing cross country since 3rd grade, but I was a year-round swimmer for a long time, and then my sophomore year, I decided to go more into it and kind of put my full focus on it, and that's what I've been doing the past couple years.
And putting your full focus on it, you've really been killing it. And I'm not a runner. I say I only run if something's chasing me, so I give more power to you. But just kind of talk to me about what went into that decision-making of really going into it, putting your focus there.
Well, cross country was always something like I really enjoyed, so I just decided I kind of put swim to like the back, and then I decided more cross country. And the team environment is what I really liked about cross country, and just showing up to practice every day with my teammates and my coaches, and it was really something I really enjoyed.
Absolutely. And you are breaking your own records. So tell me a little bit about that. What was the record that you set your junior year, and you recently this fall broke that record? So what was first that record, and then what did you break it by?
So back in December in the postseason, and I ran 19:52 in Alabama, and then this fall, about 2.5 weeks ago, I broke my own record and went 19:05 at a different course in Alabama.
Well, that's really impressive. And what's the closest to that? Do you know what the closest was before you set that record the first time?
Yes. So the record before was 19:56.
So you're breaking it by about 51 seconds.
Yes.
Very casual, just very casual. So very impressive. Congratulations. And whenever you are continuously breaking your own records, how do you really stay motivated? I mean, yes, you always want to improve, but how do you stay motivated? And because it seems like you're really blowing the competition out of the water.
Well, it's just going every day, practicing my hardest, listening to my coaches, seeing what they have to say, putting 100% in every practice, and then on meet day, showing up there and really, really racing, not worrying about the times or anything, but finding like the different girls being, oh, I can get in front of them, oh, I can do it again, and just really racing and seeing who I can be in front of next.
And you mentioned that you love the team atmosphere. So how do they really help push you as well, other than just trying to, let's see who we can get in front of at practice?
Yes, well, I really love my team. My coaches are amazing, and I just showing up to every practice, the team kind of just puts a smile on my face. We're very bonded this year. I really like that about our team. We've grown really close, and they're amazing. We sometimes will show up speakers. We'll be singing at practice, even though we're like dying on the side, or we're just having like fun conversations. Just the team environment's really good, which I really enjoy.
And I remember, I don't know if it's still the same, but whenever I was at Pope, it was the course that you had to practice on, it was gorgeous. It took you kind of went down by the lacrosse fields. That's kind of where you went into it and went through the woods. And how does that help you also having a place that the course is really nice to be able to practice? And it kind of felt like just a really good place to, even though I said I don't really run, but it was a good place to go to just clear your mind. And it was very peaceful through that course.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's really nice that we have that space on campus where it's all grass, because like not every school has that. They have to go off campus to find something, and being able just to go right after school and practice on real grass and like different hills and stuff is very nice.
And you mentioned it, hills. You really get to practice through, because Pope Prep is known as the school on the hill. And I was just talking, your parents are in studio with us, and just talking to them about how I graduated the year of the flood. And they actually took a canoe to the school to get our final exam so we could graduate on time. And it really is. It goes down really deep. And so it was really flooded that year in 2010. But you get to really practice through a lot of different terrains, even though you're saying, yes, it's all on grass, but you get to really go through hills. And how does that help prepare you whenever you're going to these other places? Does it kind of make it seem easier whenever you're running?
Yes, I definitely think that like practicing those hills and being very long and stuff. And my coach's favorite hill is right behind the stadium, right behind the football field. There's a big old hill. She loves that one, and we run up that one a lot. And it really makes the hills on meets, because that hill is any bigger than any hill will do any meet. So just practicing that over and over again, and by the time you get to meet day, it makes the hills a lot less hard.
And one thing that Pope Prep really embraces is going out into the community. So how does the cross-country team, or you specifically, really get out into the community?
Well, I know like me specifically, I do two things. I'm part of the National League of like Junior Cotillion. I volunteer for them, and it's just one Sunday a month, and I love going in every day. I love going in every time, just kind of helping the kids learn, because I did that myself in all of middle school, and going in every week, but then like coming back the next month and seeing what they learned and like how they applied it to real life. It's just really interesting. And then I also work volunteer 1 day a week it's called Restoring Hope Christian School, and I go into like this little class and with like disabled kids and some other things, and we hang out with them. It's just really fun just seeing like how different their lifestyle is and showing them that like they can live a normal life as well.
Absolutely. I love that. And first, let's start with the cotillion. So last night at the game of the week, the Scholar Athlete is also a part of the cotillion, and multiple people asked me, what is the cotillion? And so could you explain for the listeners just a little bit more about what the cotillion is and the community service that you do?
Yes, so cotillion is basically what people call like learning manners. So you learn different dances, learn how to like act in society, but they do it through a way that's not so boring and like to the books. They do it in a way that is more inviting, that you can really learn more about like the way that like the society works and like how you should act and stuff like that.
And you really do get heavily involved in the community through the cotillion. That was a big focus of that last night, and I think a lot of people don't realize how you have to really do the community service side of it too. But also speaking on the school that you work with, whenever you're working with those students, how does that also kind of put things into perspective for you? Because yes, you're teaching them how to that they can live a normal life as well, but that you're somebody that they can look up to and see what you're doing, and they can say, hey, like, they can run as well, you know? So how does that kind of impact you?
I think it definitely impacts me because, like, I think, like, many people, like, disabilities or, like, Down syndrome, sometimes, like, people, like, look down upon them. But, like, if you show them, like, the same care and, like, generosity you show everyone else, it really can empower those kids to know that, like, they can do anything that they really put their mind to.
Absolutely. And whenever you're out in the community, and I know Mr. Dempsey, he's very proud of you. And, yes, he is at Pope Prep, but there's other people in the community that are very proud of everything that you're doing with cross country. So what does it mean to you to have their support, especially whenever you're getting out into the community and you're getting to see them and then receive that same support back?
Yes, I really love every week, and I say after a meet or something, like, I'll come back to school and, like, everybody, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, great job this weekend, like, I heard all about it. I really, like, love the support I get from the community. Or after a meet, say there's some people there, like, I wasn't expecting to be there, and they're, like, they come up to me after and, like, cheering me on and, like, hyping me up. I really enjoyed that community.
And especially, you always see, like, a ton of fans at, like, football games or games like that, but you don't always see a ton of people at cross-country meets. So I'm sure that's really special when people are keeping up with it and telling you that, because it's not a sport. I don't know. Whenever I think of running, you think of it as, I love how you're saying, though, it's a team sport, but you can really think of it as a very individually motivated, because it's you in your head pushing through. So I love that you really have people coming to you after the meets to tell you how they support you. But whenever you're with your team, how would you say, what have you learned the most about being a part of a team?
I think, especially because cross-country, because as you said, like, cross-country is more of an individual sport, but at the same time, like, learning that you can compete individually but still practice as a team. But also, like, throughout the race, say you see your teammate, you're coming up on them, you can encourage them as throughout the race that you're going on yourself. So it really is, you're competing individually, but at the same time, you're competing with your team and helping them along and also helping them be the best version of themselves that they can be.
And I kind of see that similarity. You said you swam as well. So I kind of see that same similarity where you're competing for yourself, but you can have your team right there at the end of the lane cheering you on. So how would you compare the two, and how would you say they're similar but also very different?
Well, I also think like they're very similar in that same, you compete individually, but at the same time, you're still helping each other on, scoring points for the team. But at the same time, like, I think at the end of the day, like, cross country is more like individual, because in swim, like, you might have relays or like different like little point things that you can do, but cross country at the end of the day, it's like how good can you do for your team so that you all can place the best at the end of the day.
So if you're going to walk me through your training schedule so that you are doing the best that you can do, what is that training schedule?
So, yes, we practice usually 5 days a week on campus, and it's a mixture of different long runs, maybe going on the track 2 days a week, doing like some sprint work, maybe going one day to different hills, like on campus or off campus, and then Saturdays usually consist of competing at a meet or doing another long run.
And if you were to give somebody a piece of advice, say it's somebody that's in middle school that's really trying to make that commitment, like that switch that you did, what's your one piece of advice to them that, hey, this is what really helped me get to where I am today?
I would say just honestly, like, do what you love. I know some people say that all the time, but if you really find something like you're passionate for, say like you're on the fence about it, you should just do it. No questions asked, because even if like you're on the fence about it, you're still thinking about doing it. So just always, like, I just say like just do it, because in the end, like, you've made the right decision.
Absolutely. And again, you're listening to Power Hour with Sammy Kincaid in the Strike and Spare studio, and I have Remy Schimmel from Pope John Paul II High School. Well, not high school anymore. It's now a middle school too, but with me, and I really appreciate you joining me today, and best of luck and everything that you do, and keep breaking records. It's very impressive. So thank you again for joining me today. And whenever we get back from this break, Devlin and I, we're going to break down some more college football games. He's been pretty quiet on his picks, so I'm going to put him on the spot when we get back. But you're listening to Power Hour with Sammy Kincaid. We'll be right back.
Nashville's first curling venue is here at T-Line Nashville. Come check out T-Line Nashville and experience the world's fastest growing winter sport today. Curling is a fun and simple sport that's a perfect outing for friends, corporate events, families, or parties. T-Line also has classic bowling and modern bowling mini games. With over 20 HD TVs, you can come watch your favorite teams and some of the best food and drinks here in Nashville in the large bar and grill area. They also have an outdoor area with a fire pit, and you can't forget the live music. T-Line Nashville is a one-stop shop for a great night out. Located at 106 Duluth Avenue and online at tlinenash.com. You can book your party now or give them a call at 615-439-1024. That's 615-439-1024. And make sure you give them a follow on Instagram and Facebook at T-Line Nash for all the news, events, and updates. T-Line Nashville. Nashville's first curling venue is here.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required. Refund available for 60 days after purchase.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Results are guaranteed or your money back. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
NFL Plus is here, which means no matter where you are, this is how you football. Let's go! You can stream live, local, and primetime regular season games on your phone or tablet, 45-minute game replays, and more. That's how you do it right there. This is the NFL for every fan. This is football freedom. This is your game on the go. Wherever you are, this is how you football. Go to plus.nfl.com/radio and start your free trial of NFL Plus today. Terms and conditions apply.
Whether it's getting your day started with a clear mind, taking the edge off after a busy day, or hitting the reset button at night, Cure helps us be our most productive selves. Completely organic and free of THC, pesticides, and heavy metals, Cure focuses on specific need states with great tasting CBD products designed to help you focus, chill, and sleep. And that is exactly what the Cure brand products are named. Focus, chill, and sleep. Now available at select MAPCO locations. Visit thecurebrand.com to learn more and follow them on social media.
It's a Bill King Show.
Lane Kiffin. Let me get this straight. Bill, smooth-talking James Franklin just lost a quarterback recruit to Sun Belt Billy. Put him on the hot seat, Bill. The only thing James Franklin is good at is working the coaching carousel for a raise each year. He's really good at that. He's very, very good.
Weekday mornings beginning at 6 on Sports Radio 560 on 95.9 FM.
And now it's time to shine the spotlight on this week's coach or player. From college to the pros, this is Shattered Ceilings.
Welcome back into Power Hour with Sammy Kincaid in the Strike and Spare studio. If you want to call in to talk to Devlin McKenzie and I, call in on the Cure hotline, 615-844-5600. Again, that's 615-844-5600. And you know what, Devlin? I know it said we're going to shine the spotlight on a coach or player, but we're going to shine it in a different way because we're going to talk some college ball. And we've already talked about your game. You know, I just really wonder how disciplined Ohio State will be coming off of a bye and with the big games they have coming up. I'm really curious how disciplined they'll play today.
As an Ohio State fan, I personally don't care if they cover this 29.5-point spread. As long as they win this game, that's really all that matters to me. You know, I think no matter how we win, we still remain in the top four. Maybe not staying at 2, would be the case, but staying in the top four is really all we care about. And if we come out on top, that's really all that Ohio fans care about in this game. Do I think they can cover 29.5? Yeah, most definitely. That team, that offense is absolutely spectacular, and their defense is going to hold Iowa. I mean, Iowa scored, I think, 7 total touchdowns this entire season. And
meanwhile, Ohio State has had 29 trips to the red zone and has scored on all of them, and all except for 2 were touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean,
that's impressive.
Marvin Harrison Jr. alone has more touchdowns than all of Iowa's offense. So, I mean, I'm very confident that we're going to win this game. It's just a matter of, how much.
So that's an 11 a.m. kickoff. Iowa at Ohio State. The big game everyone's talking about. We've talked a little bit about it with Danny Kleppinger in the first segment of the show. Number 7 Ole Miss at LSU, 2:30 kick. I just really think this one's easy money. I don't see LSU taking this one. And, I mean, it's only a point favorite. I really think Ole Miss takes this one.
Look, I'm a firm believer in trap games when it comes to gambling. And for those of you who don't know what a trap game is, this is pretty much something that I made up off the top of my head with Bruno, host of the Afternoon Stretch. It's an example of it would be, I believe it was week 3, the Chiefs were playing the Colts. And at the time, the Chiefs were looked at as one of the best teams in the AFC, and the Colts were looked at as a terrible team in the NFL all around. And the Chiefs were only a 5-point favorite in that game. And I thought that the Chiefs would blow them out of the water. And, of course, it was a trap game, and the Colts came out and just won that game. This is one of those games that has trap game written all over it. An unranked 5-2 LSU at home against it's number 7 ranked Ole Miss. In this game, I'm going to go with Vegas. I'm taking LSU to win this one. There's no knowledge behind it other than the fact that they're a favorite to win this game, and I think a lot of people are surprised by that. I think Vegas knows what they're doing. I think this is just a pick'em game straight up, and I'm taking LSU to win this game.
You know what Vegas also did, though? They had LSU beating Tennessee. They had Alabama beating Tennessee. And I just really think that this game will be very similar to the Tennessee-LSU game. I mean, Tennessee had 500 yards of total offense. Jackson Dart for Ole Miss has almost 1,500 yards, 11 touchdowns, has rushed for 371 yards so far this season. I really do not see. And, I mean, what are you relying on Neighbors? Yes, he has 32 receptions. And Brian Kelly was saying, put him up, give him one-on-ones all day long. People are just really giving him one-on-ones, and he's going to beat you in a one-on-one. But are you really putting your money on that he's going to help with LSU taking this? I don't. I really see Ole Miss, and I mean, I'm even talking about the QB with Jackson Dart. They're known for their run game. So whenever you have two running backs that each have over 600 yards this season, two running backs that each have over 600 yards so far this season, that's impressive. And that's going to be a whole lot for the LSU. Yes, their front seven are very good. Very, very good. But that is going to be a whole lot for them to handle.
I don't recommend betting this game at all. This is one of those, very hard decisions you got to make. And, as the weeks go by, Vegas gets better and better at picking these lines. And this is a prime example of Vegas being good at their jobs. Obviously, the public is probably mostly going with Ole Miss in this game, and I think there's a good reason behind it. I think there's also a good reason behind choosing LSU in this game. It's just one of those games that I'm staying away from personally. It scares the life out of me, but I like Vegas more than I like where my mind is set at. It's just one of those things where if I'm gonna go with the guys that know what they're doing on this. It's nothing against Ole Miss. You could see this game going either way, but yeah, it's too tough for me to call.
All right, and I brought it up just a second ago, and I have to give you a hard time on air because I already did it through text on Saturday, and then in the studio today. But when are you gonna listen to me? We're talking about the Alabama-Tennessee game. I called it, and I mean, I think Alabama gets it done today against Mississippi State, but they have to play more disciplined. And I really think that's what last week boiled down to. They were not disciplined. They had 17 penalties for 130 yards. You're not going to win whenever Tennessee only had 6 penalties for 39 yards. That comparison, 130 to 39, you're not going to win games whenever you have that many yards and penalties. So,
and Alabama barely lost that game.
But you also had 3 starters out for Tennessee. So you keep wanting to ignore that fact. Tennessee was not healthy, and they still found a way to beat Alabama, at the time, number 3 team in the country. And a lot of people argue about how Georgia, yes, Ohio State is up there, but between the 3 of them, everyone always argues about who really is the top team right now, and Alabama's not playing that way. You cannot say that it was just even with them having that, and I really think it says something. Tennessee not playing healthy and still found a way to beat them.
Look, that game was...
and it was all because Alabama wasn't disciplined.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Alabama gave Tennessee every reason to stay in that game. It was just so much fun to watch. I'm one of the guys that wants to see Alabama go down. I really do. I was thrilled to see Tennessee win. But you can't say I told you so when you're an alumni of Tennessee and you're going to pick them to win either way, no matter what the game is.
But I'm not saying I told you so because of picking Tennessee. I'm saying I told you so because of the reasoning behind why Tennessee was going to win. Mm-hmm. And it all had to do with the penalties. And you know what? We're going to talk more about this whenever we come back from this break. We'll talk all college football. We got quite a few more games to get through, including a couple more big picks. So stick with us. You'll listen to Power Hour with Sammy Kincaid in the Strike and Spare studio.
Located at 5410 Murfreesboro Road in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers is one-stop shopping for all your liquor, beer, and wine needs and has been a multiple winner annually in the Best of Rutherford County voting for Best Liquor Store and Top Wine Shop. Featuring the lowest prices, the best customer service with unsurpassed knowledge, City Slickers offers the largest craft beer selection in Rutherford and southeastern Davidson counties and has beer on tap at its Growler filling station. season. City Slickers also sells mixers, sodas, snacks, tobacco products, and the Tennessee Lottery, and can place special orders and assist with all your events and even wedding planning. Make sure you follow City Slickers on all their social media or just give them a call at 615-280-7469. That's 615-280-7469. Located in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter code KIND at checkout. That's harrys.com, code KIND. Enjoy!
Tired of the same old company holiday party and looking to reward your team with a fun night out? What about something different for a birthday party or group gathering? Hello, this is Philip Cox of Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers, and we specialize in group events no matter the size at our Tusculum, Donaldson, Hermitage, Murfreesboro, and Hendersonville locations. Plus, Hendersonville and Murfreesboro offer enhanced entertainment options with bumper cars, laser tag, roller skating, and more. 'Tis the season to have fun with family, friends, and business associates, and there's no better place to do it than at Strike and Spare Family Fun Center. Visit strikeandspare.com to learn about the group outing option. Strike and Spare, where fun is bowling.
From the big game to the big dance, Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel downtown is your game day and watch party headquarters. Don't worry about entertaining guests and trying to feed everyone. Sit back, relax, cheer on your team, and let the Bar Line staff take care of you. Grab a Bar Line signature cocktail and enjoy some wicked deviled eggs, or a Bar Line's double stack, and finish it off with some Jack and Coke chocolate cake. Bust your belly and your bracket at Bar Line, located in the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown.
Are you needing something to do on October 27th? Then come hang out at T-Line Nashville. Hey guys, it's Zach from the Afternoon Stretch. Come join Bruno Reagan and myself at T-Line Nashville, 106 Duluth Avenue here in Nashville. Plenty of delicious food, great atmosphere. It's a great time at T-Line. And after the show, you can stay around and watch football right there at T-Line Nashville. It all happens October 27th, 4 to 6 p.m. Come hang out with us once again, 106 Duluth Avenue in Nashville for the Afternoon Stretch.
We're checking out the headlines, the highlights, and the stories from the world of women's athletics. Time to go around the hour.
Welcome back into Power Hour with Sammy Kincaid in the Strike and Spare studio. And I have my last I told you so, Devlin McKenzie, for the Alabama-Tennessee game. I just looked at the notes. And the last thing I said about that last week is press the kicking game. And what did it come down to?
This is so much fun. I love being told how good you are. This is the best.
No, I just don't know when you're going to start listening to me on my picks. I really think it's beginner's luck because I've said many times I'm not a sports bettor. But I feel like I've been picking them pretty well this season.
You have. And I told you off air, if whatever you pick this week, I will take because...
You just want to come in next week to be able to say I told you so.
Listen. No, I mean... I don't know what it is, but my kryptonite is saying my picks on air. Every time I take a pick off air, I'm usually winning. 60% of the time I'm winning when I say it off air. About 80% of the time I'm losing when I say my picks on air. You're the opposite. Whatever you say, typically it goes. So this week, I will take whatever you got this week. I think the only play that I have is UCLA money line. It was plus 200. I just took it because I like the way UCLA is playing this year. Coming off 2 huge wins against Washington and Utah, I believe. I have to go back and check. But, yeah, I think that's my biggest play this week. But whatever you got, I'll take.
All right, so I think that I was with this fan base for 4 seasons, and I think they're really going to be happy with me this week. UCF at ECU. I got UCF taking this one. ECU's a 5-point favorite right now, but I really got UCF taking this one. Yes, the ECU front D, they're they're really taking you down behind the line of scrimmage. So UCF is really going to have to be on it. But the QB, John Rhys Plumlee, he is the Knights' best rusher as well. He has 468 yards last week, or 468 yards, and he has the help of Isaiah Bowser, who has 315 yards. But the fact that the quarterback has over 100 more yards than your top running back, that's saying something about that quarterback. He is elusive. I just really think that he is the key to getting it done today. If he can be able to stay elusive, get it done on the ground, open up that pass game. UCF's known for putting a lot of points on the board. And if they're able to open up that pass game, and if he's able to get the time to throw the ball, I really think UCF goes away with this one.
Right now, UCF is a 5-point favorite in this game. Do you think they just win outright, or do you think they cover that 5-point spread?
It changed then since the last time I saw it. ECU was winning this one, so
Really?
It's changed since I wrote my notes. I'm a pen and paper type of person, and so it's changed since I wrote. But I really think UCF wins this one by more than 5. I really think that they cover that. So I really think UCF will take this one. And I know a lot of people are saying, like, you got to be careful with this one because of ECU's front, that D-line. But I really think that Plumlee's the way that they get through this one.
The over-under in this game, total points scored, is 63 points.
Ooh.
Do you think it goes over that, or do you think just hit on the under?
I don't think it will go over that. I mean, right now, UCF, they are, like I said, they're known for putting up the points, but I want to say right now they're averaging about like 35 to 40, which that means only 25 to 30 points from ECU. And I just don't really see this one being that close. Say if it's I have this more of like a 40-14, you know? So I just don't see it getting that high. But I do think the points will be up there, but I would take the under.
And then UCLA, Oregon. Right now, Oregon, a 7-point favorite in this game. UCLA, obviously a 7-point underdog, but UCLA coming off massive wins versus, at the time, 15th ranked Washington and 11th ranked Utah. Who do you got in this game? I'm curious. I'm taking what you got.
I like UCLA. I liked your pick on that. I really like how they've been playing as well, and I think that with their big couple of wins, I think you're spot on for that pick.
Yeah, Oregon, obviously a shaky start against Georgia in week 1. I believe it was 49 to 3 points in that loss. And then it just seemed like a complete turnaround for Oregon. Although I don't think that they have had as good of matchups as UCLA. I think UCLA has played more competitive teams than Oregon has. I think the best team they played since Georgia was BYU, and BYU was very, very injured in that game. Oregon did come out on top. They've also played Washington State and Stanford, also not very good teams. And then also Arizona, I believe, was their last game. They're both coming off bye weeks in this one. UCLA, I think they got a lot riding on them this year.
Yeah.
I like what Chip Kelly and Dorian Thompson-Robinson are doing over there. I think it's taken them what feels like a decade to get going. But finally, I can actually say that they're actually doing something over there. I also have them small unit bet on them to win the Pac-12. So it really comes down to this game right here. And then also the USC game at the end of the season. But I'm confident UCLA can win that game as well. But yeah, this one's tough. Oregon is not a bad team.
I don't think they're a bad team either, but I like your UCLA pick. But going to switch conferences really fast because we don't have too much time left. With the ACC today, with Syracuse at Clemson, say if Clemson messes this one up, does that knock an ACC team out of the playoffs?
Yeah. Right now, I think that 4th spot in the playoffs is Clemson's to lose. I think you've got a Big Ten winner, 100%. If Clemson comes out undefeated, all of their wins, if they're won by, as long as they don't have a loss, essentially, I think it's theirs to lose. And then you got 2 SECs. So I think if Clemson loses one game, Pac-12 winner. Right now, the playoffs, it could be really anything. I mean, imagine if
you had 3 SEC teams.
Not going to happen. I'm sorry. But yeah, if Tennessee loses against Georgia and Georgia plays Alabama in the SEC championship, Alabama wins, you might have 3. I don't know. It's just going to be all insane.
Yeah, and you got those coming out in a couple weeks. So, thanks for listening in to Power Hour with Sammy Kincaid in the Strike and Spare studio. It's been a fun one with Danny Klobuchar coming on, giving some picks. Devlin, hopefully I gave you some good picks. And thank you to Remy Schimmel for coming on today for This Girls Can. We will be back next week talking some more college ball. Thanks for listening.